Warehouse layout must balance fixed areas and flexible storage areas so that product flows smoothly. Fixed areas include receiving docks, shipping docks, offices, maintenance rooms, battery charging stations and welfare facilities. Their size is determined mainly by expected throughput and the number of staff. Storage areas are more flexible and are arranged according to product characteristics and order patterns. High-activity items are placed in locations that minimize travel distance, often near picking and shipping zones, while slow-moving items are stored further away or at higher levels. Many warehouses use ABC analysis to guide these decisions. In a grocery distribution center, high-volume items like bottled water, instant noodles and cooking oil are typically stored near the main aisles close to the shipping area, whereas niche products with low demand are placed in more remote or upper rack locations. Example: in a grocery distribution center, receiving and quality control areas are located close to the inbound docks, while fast-moving dry goods SKUs such as instant noodles and cooking oil are stored in racks near the main picking aisles close to outbound docks. Slower-moving or bulky seasonal items such as TET gift baskets are stored further away in higher racks, freeing prime space for everyday products that appear on most orders. ABC analysis provides a logical basis for deciding where to store different items. Items are ranked by importance, often annual usage value, movement volume or criticality, and then divided into A, B, and C categories. A class items, the small group that accounts for a large share of value or movement, are stored in the most accessible and secure locations. B-class items receive standard attention, and C-class items occupy less convenient space, sometimes in larger bins or higher racks. The exact percentage of items in each category can be adjusted to fit the operation. In a spare parts warehouse for trucks, expensive engine components and electronic control units may be classified as A items and stored in secure, easily reachable racks. Low-cost nuts and bolts may be treated as C items and kept in bulk bins further from the main aisles. Example: after performing an ABC analysis, a spare parts warehouse discovers that just 5% of SKUs, mainly engine and transmission components, account for 60% of annual sales value. These items are moved to waist-height locations close to the main picking aisle and are cycle-counted weekly. C items such as bolts and washers are stored in bulk bins at the back of the warehouse and counted only once or twice a year, saving labor while still keeping overall control. Productivity analysis helps managers understand how efficiently the warehouse uses labor, space, and equipment. Typical labor productivity metrics include orders picked per person per day, order lines per person per hour, or pallets handled per forklift per shift. Space productivity might be measured as storage locations used versus available or as revenue per square meter. Equipment productivity considers how many hours per day forklifts, conveyors, or automated systems are operating productively. Tracking these indicators over time reveals trends, bottlenecks, and the effects of process changes or new technology. For instance, if orders per person per day increase after introducing barcode picking while error rates remain low, managers can conclude that both productivity and quality have improved. If productivity drops during certain shifts, this may signal training issues or poor scheduling. Example: a 3PL compares two warehouses of similar size. In Warehouse A, each picker processes on average 90 order lines per hour with an error rate below 0.2%. In Warehouse B, the figure is only 60 lines per hour with a similar error rate. By looking more closely at the layout and processes, the company finds that in Warehouse B, pickers must walk longer distances and frequently wait for forklifts, prompting a redesign of pick paths and staging areas to raise productivity. Safety is a critical concern in warehousing because many activities involve heavy equipment, elevated storage, and constant movement. Regulations and company policies define minimum standards for forklift operation, rack design, fire protection, emergency exits, and protective equipment such as helmets and safety shoes. Safe operations require clear traffic lanes, speed limits for vehicles, well-marked pedestrian crossings, and good lighting. Regular training and refresher courses remind workers how to handle loads, stack pallets, lift correctly and respond to emergencies. A warehouse where forklifts move quickly through crowded aisles without marked lanes presents a high risk of accidents. In contrast, facilities that enforce rules, maintain equipment and encourage workers to report hazards typically experience fewer injuries and less product damage. Example: a distribution center near Ho Chi Minh City enforces a one-way traffic flow for forklifts. Clearly marks pedestrian crossings and requires all staff and visitors to wear high-visibility vests and safety shoes on the warehouse floor. Regular safety walks identify damaged pallets or racks, which are repaired or replaced before they cause injuries or product collapse. Over time, the number of lost-time accidents falls, and insurance premiums are reduced. Hazardous materials require special attention in warehousing because they can harm people, property and the environment. Products such as flammable liquids, compressed gases, corrosive chemicals or certain batteries must be stored according to strict regulations. These may specify maximum quantities per area, kinds of shelving, ventilation requirements, spill containment measures and separation of incompatible substances. Shipping documents and labels must clearly identify hazards so that carriers and emergency responders can react appropriately in case of an incident. Even everyday consumer items like aerosol sprays, cleaning chemicals or lithium-ion batteries for laptops may be classified as dangerous goods. Warehouses handling such products in Vietnam must follow relevant standards to avoid fires, leaks or other accidents. Example: a warehouse handling paints and solvents in Haiphong stores flammable liquids in a separate, ventilated area with explosion-proof lighting and fire suppression systems. Drums are placed in spill containment pallets, and incompatible chemicals are segregated according to safety datasheet guidelines. All outgoing shipments are labeled with the correct hazard classes so that truck drivers and responders know what they are carrying in case of an accident on the road. Security in warehousing focuses on preventing theft, tampering and accidental damage. Good security begins with controlled access to the facility, visitor registration, fencing and surveillance systems such as CCTV. Inside the warehouse, high-value goods may be stored in locked cages or separate rooms. Segregation of duties, for example, one person receiving goods and another recording them, reduces opportunities for fraud. Regular cycle counting and reconciliation of physical inventory with system records help detect losses early. Clear rules about who may drive forklifts, who may access keys and how to handle discrepancies strengthen the overall security culture. A warehouse storing smartphones and laptops, for example, might require staff to pass through metal detectors when leaving and forbid personal bags on the warehouse floor to reduce the risk of pilferage. Example: a warehouse storing smartphones sets up controlled entry points where employees must badge in and out, bans personal backpacks on the floor and installs CCTV covering all high-value aisles. Inventory of premium models is kept in locked cages, and only 2 supervisors have keys. Monthly cycle counts focus on these cages first. Any discrepancy triggers an immediate investigation of access control logs and camera footage. The photo linked to this slide likely illustrates physical security measures such as fences, locked cages or cameras. Such measures complement policies and procedures. Cameras deter theft and provide evidence when investigating incidents. Secure cages limit access to high-value or easily stolen items. Lighting and clear lines of sight make it easier for supervisors to monitor activities. Security design must ensure that protective measures do not slow down operations so much that staff are tempted to bypass them. In distribution centers for premium cosmetics or branded fashion, locked areas with restricted access are common. Only specific employees may enter, and all stock movements in or out of these cages are recorded and checked carefully. Example: a fashion apparel warehouse uses a secure cage for luxury handbags. Only authorized staff can enter the cage, and all stock movements require 2 signatures, one from the picker and one from a supervisor. Outside the cage, cameras record all handling. These measures make it difficult for thieves to remove goods unnoticed, while still allowing legitimate picking to proceed efficiently. Cleanliness and sanitation are important in every warehouse and essential in those handling food, pharmaceuticals and similar products. Clean facilities reduce the risk of contamination, pest infestation and product damage. They also improve safety by reducing clutter and spills that cause trips or falls. Regular cleaning schedules, waste disposal procedures and pest control programs form the basis of good sanitation. Clear rules about eating, drinking and smoking in storage areas help maintain hygiene. Employees are more likely to take pride in their work and stay with the company when their workplace is orderly and clean. A cold storage warehouse serving supermarkets in Vietnam must maintain not only the correct temperature but also strict hygiene, including frequent cleaning of floors and racks, regular inspection of insulation and good drainage to prevent ice buildup and slippery surfaces. Example: a cold chain operator serving major supermarket chains in Vietnam runs daily cleaning schedules for chillers, freezers and loading docks. Spilled liquids are mopped up immediately to prevent ice buildup that could cause slips and falls. Pest control contractors visit regularly, and temperature and hygiene logs are kept for every room to satisfy both government inspectors and demanding retail customers. Simple habits: putting trash in designated bins, keeping aisles free of broken pallets or stretch wrap, wiping up spills immediately and keeping equipment clean, contribute greatly to safety and product quality. In sectors with strict quality standards, such as pharmaceuticals or high-end food products, customers and regulators often audit warehouse cleanliness as part of supplier approval. Failing an audit can mean losing major contracts. Even small warehouses can make progress quickly by assigning daily housekeeping tasks, using visual standards for clean work areas and recognizing teams that maintain good conditions over time. Example: a small wholesaler of packaged foods improves hygiene by repainting walls in light colors, marking waste collection points, removing broken pallets from the floor and banning smoking inside the building. Within a few weeks, rodent sightings drop and customers comment positively on the warehouse's appearance during visits, increasing their confidence in the wholesaler's handling of their brands. The closing slide highlights that warehousing is not just a cost center, it can also be a marketing and customer service tool. Well-located and well-managed warehouses shorten order cycle times and increase delivery reliability. This allows companies to offer attractive service promises such as next-day delivery or reliable just-in-time supply, which differentiate them from competitors. Value-added services performed in warehouses: custom labeling, special packaging, promotional kitting, support marketing campaigns and help products stand out on retailers' shelves. Accurate inventory information from warehouses also allows sales staff to confirm availability and realistic delivery dates to customers. When an online retailer in Vietnam can consistently deliver orders within 1 or 2 days while competitors take a week, the difference usually reflects stronger warehousing and distribution capabilities. Customers rarely see the inside of the warehouse, but they feel its performance every time they place an order. Example: an online fashion retailer promises delivery within 24 hours to customers in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. To keep this promise, it positions fulfillment centers close to ring roads in both cities, invests in efficient picking and packing processes, and works with reliable last-mile carriers. As long as the warehouses operate smoothly, the marketing promise is met. If the warehouse falls behind during peak seasons, customer reviews quickly reveal the gap between promise and reality.